Hello friends, welcome to BioVidyalaya. This is your educator Chitra. I hope you all are doing very well. Today in this lecture video we are going to discuss about epistasis. I took this topic from genetics and this video will be helpful for those who are preparing for CSIR NET license, GATE license, NEET and other competitive examinations in biology. So let's begin. I hope you all have subscribed our channel. If not, please do subscribe. So what is meant by epistasis? Epistasis is the interaction between gene. This is the interaction between gene and this is not following Mendelian genetics. It is not following Mendel's laws of inheritance. Okay. We know that in Mendelian genetics, a single gene is involved in one trait or a single gene is controlling one trait. Okay. But here in epistasis, more than one gene is involved. And it is the interaction between genes. Okay. So in epistasis, one gene masks or interferes the expression of another gene at a different locus. Different locus means they are non-allelic. Okay. So, we can say that the genotype of one gene affect the expression of another non-allelic gene. That is called the epistasis. Okay. For example, let's imagine that these are the homologous chromosome. So, this is the alleles of gene A and this is the alleles of gene B. If gene A is masking the expression of gene B, gene A is masking the expression of gene B, then we can call it as epistasis. Okay. And the gene which is masking other is called the epistatic gene. Here A is masking B. The gene A is masking gene B. That's why this gene A is epistatic gene. So the gene which is masking other is called the epistatic gene. The gene which is masked by other is called the hypostatic gene. The gene which is masked by epistatic gene is called the hypostatic gene. So here gene B is the hypostatic gene. Okay. And there are many types of epistasis. Here we are going to discuss about dominant epistasis and recessive epistasis. So here in the case of dominant epistasis, dominant form of the gene that will mask the expression of another gene. Here that dominant gene may be homozygous dominant or heterozygous. And in the case of recessive epistasis, a recessive form of the gene that will mask the expression of another gene. Here this recessive form of the gene should be homozygous recessive. Okay. So let's see the dominant epistasis in detailed manner. So the ratio of dominant epistasis is 12:3:1. In dominant epistasis, a gene in dominant state is acting as epistasis gene. Okay. So here dominant allele. The dominant allele we are taking the genes as A and B. So here the dominant allele at one locus that may mask the phenotype of the second locus. That may mask the phenotype of the second locus. Or we can say that a dominant allele of one gene that will mask the phenotypic expression of the gene in the second locus. Okay, locus means position or the location. Okay, so here the epistatic gene is in homozygous dominant or heterozygous condition that will mask the expression of another gene called the hypostatic gene. But does not matter what the genotype of the hypostatic gene. That may be in dominant homozygous condition, that may be in heterozygous condition, that may be in recessive homozygous condition. That is not a matter. The genotype of the hypostatic gene is not a matter, but this epistatic gene that is in dominant condition that will mask the expression of hypostatic gene. Okay. So the dominant allele, A allele, is epistatic to capital B, that means homozygous dominant condition, capital B, small b, that means heterozygous condition, and small b, that means homozygous recessive condition. Okay. So here we know that the normal dihybrid cross ratio is 9:3:3:1. Okay. This is the normal dihybrid cross ratio, F2 ratio. So here this capital A, capital B, small b is the F1 hybrid. Here we are self-crossing, and here you can see that how many phenotype we are getting. Normally we will get, in normal dihybrid cross we will get 4 phenotype, but here we are getting only 3 phenotype. This is the example of squash fruit. Okay. This is because of dominant epistasis. Here we can see that here at least one dominant allele is present in both the locus. At least one dominant allele is present in both the locus. And the phenotypic character is white color. Okay, here we can see that at least one dominant allele is present in first locus. And here also the phenotypic character is white color. Okay. So how many white color? 9 plus 3, 12. Okay. Here you can see that at least one dominant allele is present in second locus. Here we are getting the phenotypic character as yellow color. How many yellow color? 3. And here all the alleles are recessive condition and the phenotype is green. Only one green. So here there is a change in normal dihybrid cross. Here we are getting 12:3:1. That's why it is not following Mendelian genetics. So the dominant epistasis ratio is 12:3:1. I will write the pathway of this dominant epistasis. Here the white color precursor is converting to green color, and this green color is converting to yellow color. Okay. So here this dominant allele A is the epistatic gene that will mask the conversion of white color precursor to green color. Okay. Here the green color will change to yellow color by the gene B, the dominant form of the gene B. Okay. If there is no dominant allele B, this green color pigment will not change to yellow color pigment. Okay. If there is dominant A allele, then this white color will not change to green color. That you have to remember. Okay. So this is the pathway of this dominant epistasis. And the ratio for dominant epistasis is 12:3:1. This you have to remember. Okay. I think this is clear. Next is recessive epistasis. The ratio of recessive epistasis is 9:3:4. In some cases, a recessive allele at one locus may mask the phenotype of a second locus. That means recessive form of one gene that will mask the phenotypic expression of the second gene called a hypostatic gene. The genotype of that hypostatic gene is not a matter. Okay. Here also we are taking the genes as A and B. So the AA genotype is epistatic to both the capital B and small b alleles. Okay. Here also we are crossing capital A, small a, capital B, small b. This is the F1 hybrid. Here we are self-crossing the F1 hybrid. We know that normal dihybrid cross ratio is 9:3:3:1. That means we will normally get 4 phenotypic character in F2 generation. But here you can see that in this Punnett square, you can see that there are 3 phenotypic trait. Okay. This is because of recessive epistasis. Example for recessive epistasis is color of dogs. Okay. So here you can see that at least one dominant allele is present in both the locus. Okay. See here. Here at least one dominant allele is present in both the locus. The phenotype is black. Okay. So here 9 black color. Next, at least one dominant allele is present in first locus. Let's see that. Here at least one dominant allele is present in first locus. 3 are there. Okay. And the phenotype is brown. Okay. Next is at least one dominant allele is present in second locus. This one and this one. And the phenotype is yellow color, and how many are there? 3. Yellow color, 3. Next is all are recessive alleles. This one. So here also phenotype is yellow color and only 1. Okay. So here the ratio is 9:3. This one is yellow color. 3 plus 1 4. 3:4. So the ratio is 9:3:4. Recessive epistatic ratio is 9:3:4. This you have to remember. We can write the pathway. Yellow color is converting to brown color. Brown color is converting to black color. So the dominant form of the gene A that will convert yellow color to brown color, and the dominant form of the gene B that will convert brown color to black color. If both dominant form of the gene is present, if both capital A and capital B is present in the genotype, then we will get black color. If there is no capital B allele, then we will get brown color. Okay. If there is no capital A allele, then we will get yellow color, because the recessive form of the gene A that will mask the expression of B gene. Okay, that's why we are getting yellow color if there is no dominant form of the gene A. So the ratio is 9:3:4. I think this is clear for you. Let's do a quick rewind. If one gene in one locus that is masking the expression of another gene in another locus, then we can call it as epistasis. The gene which is masking other is called epistatic gene. The gene which is masked by other is called hypostatic gene. Here we discussed about dominant epistasis and recessive epistasis. In dominant epistasis, the dominant form of one gene that will mask the expression of another gene. In recessive epistasis, the recessive form of one gene that will mask the expression of another gene. The dominant epistasis ratio is 12:3:1 and the recessive epistasis ratio is 9:3:4. So here I am winding up this video. If you like this video and find it helpful, then please share this video with your friends and batchmates so they will also get benefit from this. And also don't forget to subscribe this channel and enable the bell icon so you will get notification when I upload new videos. So keep learning. Thank you.